Panchakau Panchakaupatarubhyascha Kripasindubhya evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. This is our greeting when we come together and we have our family with us from around the world, and Anandamoy Devi Rasi also. She was just explaining she's moving somewhere, perhaps. I caught the very last words.
Dandavat Maharaj, very nice.
Perhaps, I think my internet is good. I see everyone's moving, but Anandamoy, although she looks warm, Anandamoy, I think you froze on us, so we actually missed your message, except we heard nice to see you. So
I think Wi-Fi is really, not Wi-Fi, internet very unstable. I'm on the boat now, on the ocean, so maybe because of that.
Okay, well, quite likely a boat on the ocean. All right, stay safe. Stay safe. All right. So, dear devotees, let us begin with Vandeham Shri Guru, the 3 verses which we more or less standard out, beginning with these days. So, Vandeham Om Jnana Namo Mahavaranyaya. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutta Pada Kamalang Shri Gurun Vaishnavangscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatan Vitang Tang Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitangscha Om Agyana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Anmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Namo Mahavaranyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratvijay Namaha. So, dear devotees, here we are in the middle of some important days, festival days wise, and that means that, depending on where you are, then Mahaprabhu, this is the time when Mahaprabhu left from Navadip to go to Katwa to take sannyas. And today, as we are here in the European and further east side of the world, is the disappearance of Jiva Goswami and Jagadish Pandit. So these are days where devotees try to remember, as we always do, try to remember something of the relevance of these days. And the 14th, here's the 14th of January, Sunday. Yes, so the 13th of January, in the night, Mahaprabhu left. So then means the night, and here it is night still. It means it's the next day, early in the morning. And that's when Mahaprabhu left. So the announcement yesterday in the calendar saying in the night, it means that night, not the morning night, because there are 2 nights in a day, right? So not the morning night, the night, the evening night, which actually means the middle of the Saturday night and early, very early in the morning on Sunday. And that time Mahaprabhu left home, and there is a very heartfelt description in Chaitanya Charitamrita, but a very heartfelt description by Srila Guru Maharaj in the book Golden Volcano of Divine Love. And very living heart, yes, a living heart presentation by Srila Guru Maharaj. We saw him at this time. Means Srila Guru Maharaj at this time when Mahaprabhu left from sannyas, he was very withdrawn, very much introverted, if you like. He's always introverted, but very much withdrawn. And he sees that and leaving of Mahaprabhu from Navadip, really as a tragedy of separation. And that is the title of one chapter in the Golden Volcano. And I don't know the temperature. I suppose I could find the temperature in the modern world. I don't know what the temperature is in Navadip today. But very often, even we don't yet know that it's the day Mahaprabhu. Oh, we would have known it's the day Mahaprabhu took sannyas. Left to take sannyas. But it was noticeably often the coldest day of the winter so far in Navadip. I mean, it was somehow or another this day. It's the middle of January. It's the middle of January this year too. And it's the coldest time in Navadip. And Mahaprabhu, he swam across the Ganges. And we have a little experience. To swim across the Ganges is further than it looks, dear devotees. So if you ever go to Navadip and think you'll follow in the footsteps or follow in the swimming waves of Mahaprabhu by swimming across the Ganges, be careful, because it is further than it appears. And those days, the Ganges was much bigger than it is today. Srila Guru Maharaj told that from when he came to the mat and came and established the mat, at that time, steamers would come up the Ganges. And steamers means, the big ships carrying cargo. And those days, they were powered by steam, like the steam engine, the steam boat, steam ships. Anyhow, so the Ganges was wider when Mahaprabhu crossed the Ganges too. But he, at that time, Nimai Pandit, he crossed the Ganges from the Mayapur side to what's the present-day Navadip side, the Koladip side. And he swam across, and then in those wet clothes in the winter, then he went from there, almost running. Hastily, he went to Katwa. And Katwa is, you're going to ask me how far? Approximately 35 kilometers. I'll say 32.5 kilometers, but I actually don't know. I know the road. I know how to go there. It's that kind of a distance. Probably around 35 kilometers, maybe a little less, maybe a little more, but probably not much more if it's more. But anyway, so he went that distance by foot and went to Katwa, and there he did not immediately receive sannyas. There are actually basically 3 days and a minimum of 2 days between his going to Katwa and his receiving sannyas. And we did ask to Srila Guru Maharaj, and devotees asked to Srila Gurudev too, about the specific day he received sannyas. And their answer was that it is not actually mentioned specifically in Chaitanya Charitamrita. But this idea of 2 or 3 days. Somebody's here. Is it a devotee or is it a burglar? Ah, doors opening. It's a devotee, not a burglar, okay? We do have burglars, they come in. They have their duty. They have their duty to do. And we have our duty to do, to prevent them from taking anything if they come in. Okay, I wasn't expecting a visitor, so you can make space, please. So, okay, so Srila Guru Maharaj and Gurudev said that it's not specifically mentioned the date. However, it wasn't immediate because we know that when he went to Katwa, here's Jai Gauranga Prabhu. Next time you see him, he'll be in London. If the Lord gives permission, he said, oh, I can't settle my ticket or can't, what? check in or something. Anyway, we'll help him. We'll help get sorted out. Okay, so here's Jai Gauranga Prabhu from Australia on his way to London in a couple of days. So next time you see him, he'll be in London, where it'll be 2 o'clock in the morning, not 3 o'clock in the morning. So let's see whether we see him on Thursday in London. But anyway, we're all together. All right. So there was a commotion in Katwa. Now, those of you who know Bengal a little bit know that in Bengal there are lots of commotions in the form of, they love to have a strike, they love to have a demonstration, and if you get a lot of the local people together, then they can easily riot, very riotable. And it's the nature of Bengal. But Bengal is also regarded as very intelligent. But Srila Gurudev said that the British government, they were quite expert in managing, and they didn't have a Bengali regiment, but they did have the Bengalis as the brains, the guides, the strategists, etc. But they didn't have a Bengali regiment, because somehow the nature of Bengal is that when a group get together, they can easily assert their opinion, or one person loudly assert something, and then it happens that way. So anyway, the local people started rioting at Keshava Bharati's ashram and threatening and beginning to demolish and threaten to demolish his ashram. And they made much commotion that if Keshava Bharati gave sannyas to Nimai Pandit, that they said they will break the ashram. And all the mob was there. It was all very delicate situation. And so a little time was needed for everything to be diffused. But Mahaprabhu's going to Katwa was the end of the known as Adi Lila in Chaitanya Charitamrita. The Adi Lila, the beginning pastimes of Nimai Pandit. So Mahaprabhu became Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He became, with the title Sri Krishna Chaitanya, title and name, Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, after taking sannyas. And before taking sannyas, it's his early pastimes, the Adi Lila. And then from his taking sannyas, and then the time he spent traveling in South India, and then to Navadip, and then trying to go to Vrindavan through Navadip after his South Indian extensive traveling year by year, then going to Vrindavan, and then on his way back going to Prayag and Varanasi and teaching Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, then returning to Puri. So after his travels, which were, I believe, 6 years, but I could be mistaken, about that time, some years of travels, then after that, then is the last pastimes, the Antya Lila. Lila means pastimes, and Antya is last. And the middle pastimes, where he's traveling, preaching, going around India, then those are called the Madhya Lila, the middle pastimes. So the Adi, Madhya, and Antya. And this is the way that the Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita is divided. So Mahaprabhu is going to take sannyas, or going to receive sannyas, or in fact take sannyas, because he told the sannyas mantra to Keshava Bharati. And he actually whispered it in his ear, said, "Is this the mantra that you will give me?" And then he said, "Yes," and then gave the mantra. So Srila Guru Maharaj explains that actually the Lord, Radha, Krishna combined, gave that mantra, the specific mantra, gave that mantra to Keshava Bharati. And then Keshava Bharati gave that the sannyas mantra and the formalities to Mahaprabhu. So this is the night time. For some of you, the night is coming. And for most of us, the night is here, still here. Or for some of us, the night is still here. And maybe for many of us, the night is past and it is morning time. Heading east from Europe, it is there. So this is but super brief about Mahaprabhu's taking sannyas. It is a heart-breaking description, and it is a day to definitely read the chapter, A Tragedy of Separation, in the book Golden Volcano of Divine Love. And in the evening, those of you who are in the evening time, in the evening before he left, then it was a spontaneous gathering of basically all the devotees. They all came to Srivasangam, the home of Srivas Thakur. And there they would regularly have kirtan, nighttime kirtan. But this evening, that evening, then everybody basically came. And they don't know why, but they're all drawn there. And it's the Lord's arrangement, of course, that they're inspired to come at that time. So Mahaprabhu had the opportunity of grand kirtan, etc., the evening before leaving for Katwa, for taking sannyas. And very famously, there is the heart-melting pastime of Sridhar, Kolavecha Sridhar. Sridhar, who was a very poor Brahmana, who made his living by selling things related to the banana tree, including bananas. Bananas are a part of a banana tree, but not only the bananas, also the leaves, which are used for plates, and also the stem, the stalk, any part. The central part of the stalk is edible, by the way. I don't know how to cook it. You have to ask somebody. And the flower of like this, the banana flower, which hangs at the end with all the bananas hanging off, that banana flower is edible too. And there is a preparation called mochaganta, which is made with the banana flower. And every part of the banana tree can be used, but it doesn't fetch a high price in the market. So Sridhar, Kolavecha Sridhar, he was a poor Brahmana, subsisting off the banana tree and some local fruits that come in season, etc. And Mahaprabhu, throughout his time in Navadip, Mahaprabhu would go to his stall and take fruits and bargain for a price much lower than what they should be. And already the price is low. We can understand that. Or Mahaprabhu just took the fruits and said, "Oh, later I'll pay," and not paying to him. So Mahaprabhu would go to his stall, and even though Sridhar, he can't refuse Mahaprabhu, because Mahaprabhu is unrefusable, you can think. I mean, such a wonderful figure, such a wonderful personality. But Sridhar even prayed to Mahaprabhu, means Nimai Pandit, then Nimai Sundar, prayed to him, "Please don't come to my stall, go to somebody else's stall. Go somewhere else and get your fruits and banana leaves, whatever it is that he would snatch and take. Usually fruits, I think, not the leaves." But Mahaprabhu said, no, you are my devotee, then I'll be loyal to you. I'll be a patron of your stall. Whereas really, Mahaprabhu is taking things rather than being a patron. Well, yes, I suppose a patron can be taking things too, but instead of, generally we think, oh yeah, we'll be loyal to a particular shop, but it means we're helping the shopkeeper by giving them some profit when we buy things. We're loyal to them. But Mahaprabhu was loyal to Sridhar, but in a different way. He was giving him just tons of affection, and we can't even say Sukriti because they are eternal associates together. And this Sridhar, who Mahaprabhu was stealing from like all the time or giving such a low price, he also came in the evening and he brought they say pumpkin, but it is lao as far as I understand. It's like white inside rather than a pumpkin, as far as I know, is like orange, saffron even inside. It's like orange inside. And anyhow, he brought the pumpkin and somebody else brought some milk. And then Mahaprabhu he knows he's going to leave next day. And then when he saw this gift from Sridhar, then it melted his heart. And he asked to his mother, please, you make some sweet rice, make a sweet from the pumpkin with milk and sugar and make some sweet. And that they made that evening. And obviously it was a very intense evening Sankirtan in the house of Srivas Thakur. Hare Krishna. And then when Mahaprabhu leaves, or Nimai leaves and goes to Katwa, then everybody is heartbroken in Navadip. Navadip, he was the gem, the jewel, they say Saino Shur. I think that is the word, means that everybody's eye was just nourished to have Nimai Sundar as their village boy. That's their Nimai Sundar. So some parallels are also given. The Krishna left Vrindavan, and everyone was heartbroken when he left Vrindavan. I mean, intense descriptions of the mood. But he left Vrindavan in order to demolish the Asuras and in order to give protection to his devotees. And so, similarly, Mahaprabhu, he left from Navadip to take sannyas in order to demolish the Asuras and protect the devotees, and more, in order to distribute Krishna Lila, divine love, broadly. And so it's a tragedy of separation. And the Navadip Vasis, the residents of Navadip, they are not happy about this day. It's not a day of festival and going down the street with chanting and dancing. It's a withdrawn time. It's as Guru Maharaj showed by example. Hare Krishna. And then after, well, we won't get to after that, but I mean, every drama has some happy part, and so there will be some happy parts. So don't die in separation before the happy parts come, because after everything is done, Mahaprabhu comes to Advaita Acharya's house. But this is after a few days, and he'll come to Advaita Acharya's house. And there in Advaita Acharya's home, then again, the Navadip devotees all come down there, including Sachi Devi, his mother, and all very intense. So anyway, as I say, please do read that chapter, The Tragedy of Separation. And of course, Srila Gurudev mentions this, and in Revealed Truth, I think I'd have to look it up, but certainly Srila Gurudev describes about Mahaprabhu's leaving to take sannyas also. And the barber who was to shave his hair, and it was described how beautiful was Nimai's hair. And when the barber, he couldn't do him at the beginning, he said, I can't do it. And Mahaprabhu said, no, you must do it. It's my order, you must do it. And anyhow, somehow convinced him to shave his head. And when he, after finishing shaving, which he had some challenges, because Mahaprabhu wouldn't sit still, and he had some challenges to shave his head. Then after that, he never shaved another head. He said, my hand, I can never again shave the head of anybody. This is too painful. I'll never forget this day of shaving Nimai's head. And so he's in Bengal, so what other shop? The barber shop is very common. In fact, one of our devotees was in Calcutta at our Dum Dum Park temple. And everywhere there are barber shops in India, and they're cheap. And this devotee, he said, why anybody will shave themselves in India, even shaving themselves? Just go to the barber. And in the barber, they shave the head. And it's just normal thing to do. So anyway, the barber shops are everywhere. And what other shops are everywhere in Bengal? Sweet shops. And so the barber, he walked away from being a barber and he opened up a sweet shop. Hare Krishna. So that is an indication of the evening and the night, and just touching the subject matter, Mahaprabhu going to take sannyas. But today, or tomorrow, depending where you are, but Sunday, the 14th, is Jiva Goswami's disappearance day and Jagadish Pandit's disappearance day. And we must also, remember them. Jagadish Pandit, he was listed as one of the branches of the Nityananda tree. Many devotees in Chaitanya Charitamrita, they're indicated as being principally Mahaprabhu's devotee from the tree of Mahaprabhu, or principally Nityananda's assistants and devotees from that tree. And some are both. So it's some kind of description, some indication. And so Jagadish Pandit was of that tree, and I'd have to do just a little bit of research to say much about him, but I do remember that part. And he brought the Jagannath deities to Mayapur. And it's told he brought these deities of Jagannath, Baladev, and Subhadra. It's told he brought them on a stick. The world is full of mysterious stories, especially to do with the Lord. And he brought them on a stick. And our first day of parikrama, on the Navadip Dham parikrama, visits Mayapur, and it's a long walk, by the way, but they have their lunch there at the temple of Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra, and that was established by Jagadish Pandit. And he was a great devotee. I'll have to do a little research for later in the day to say a bit more, or maybe one of you frantically researching while I'm talking. I do not know. But Jiva Goswami, we can just say a few words about Jiva Goswami because it's his disappearance day. So, well, first of all, we can say that we know where is his samadhi. I don't think I know where is Jagadish Pandit's samadhi, but I expect it's in Navadip somewhere. I mean, the Navadip area, not necessarily Navadip town. Maybe at the Jagannath temple. I don't know. So, Jiva Goswami's samadhi, we know exactly where it is. It's just a few meters or a few feet, depending on your metric or other system of measuring. It's just a few meters. When you look at our temple in Vrindavan, a few meters to the right, there is a wall, a boundary wall, but it's just a wall. And then the other side of that, just a few meters, there is this samadhi of Jiva Goswami. And Jiva Goswami's temple is the Radha Damodar temple, which is basically where our property is. It's part of the property of Radha Damodar previously, and then in the course of generations and as things happen, the area of land is somewhat divided up. And our property, our temple, then it is in that extended compound of Radha Damodar, and there's just a wall between our ashram and the actual present-day ashram surrounding Radha Damodar temple. So the deities of Radha Damodar, these are worshipped by Jiva Goswami. And Jiva Goswami, he was the youngest of the that generation, youngest along with Gopal Bhatta Goswami, and I don't actually know who was the younger exactly, but being younger than Jiva Goswami, he also saw himself as a servant of Rupa and Sanatan, and of all of the other Goswamis, the Goswamis of Vrindavan, and of course, not only Goswamis, but the devotee section of Vrindavan. And he arranged at the Radha Damodar temple, he arranged for Sat Sangha, for the association, the gathering of these great personalities together. And they would regularly have Sankirtan, evening program. Have we heard of an evening program? They would regularly have evening program, Sankirtan and reading, discussion, Harikatha, etc. And what a gathering that must have been to witness that. And they say that that place where they gathered was just to the left of the deities when you see the deities. But they probably were in front of the deities sometimes, and there is a room to the left. And it may be, we cannot say. I mean, I cannot say exactly, because stories and things, they can evolve from generation to generation. But certainly, Jiva Goswami arranged for the gathering together of the great sadhus of Vrindavan of that time, of Mahaprabhu's creed, Mahaprabhu's family, and Jiva Goswami, in service to them, then he composed, it is told, over 400,000 Sanskrit verses. 400,000. That's a lot of verses, extremely profuse in his writings. But what were his writings? His writings were supporting what Rupa and Sanatan and the others were giving. And why supporting it? Because sometimes Rupa and Sanatan, they will just tell facts. They'll just say various things, but you know, I think some of you know about planet Earth, about the world. You know, you always get those who say, how can it be? It says somewhere in the scripture, this happened, or, you know, there can be all kinds of debate. So the doubtful section always wants some proof that if somebody says that Krishna is black, for instance, then so they want some proof that Krishna is black. So Jiva Goswami, 400,000 verses approximately in support of what Rupa and Sanatan gave. And this way, I mean, just making like a strong boundary wall around protecting the gift of Rupa and Sanatan, protecting which is the gift of Mahaprabhu. Mahaprabhu himself taught Rupa Goswami. Mahaprabhu himself taught Sanatan Goswami. Mahaprabhu himself gave them that service of writing transcendental literatures and, by the way, discovering the lost places of Krishna's Leela in Vrindavan. So, you know, how empowered is empowered? There we have like very empowered Rupa and Sanatan. But their flow of delivering revealed truth, they are telling all about the revealed, what they are seeing, what they know, what is revealed to them. But Jiva Goswami, he is supporting all of what they're saying by scriptural reference, etc. And so, thankfully, it's beyond most of our, if not everybody's, capacity, you know, to go through all of these things. And we are so fortunate because we have Guru Maharaj and Srila Saraswati Thakur. We've got Gurudev and Srila Prabhupada. We've got Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. We've got our modern day givers of the message of Rupa and Sanatan, and the modern day givers of the protection, as Jiva Goswami has given, protection of the lineage. Hare Krishna. So Jiva Goswami, his contribution so great, and not only with the books, but with the sadhu sangha and arrangement for everyone in Vrindavan, and where he established the Radha Damodar temple, it is essentially physically the center of Vrindavan, but is also considered to be spiritually the center of Vrindavan, right there at Seva Kunj, which is the place of the Rasa Leela of Sri Krishna. And it is a very special place. So spiritually the center and geographically the center. And this way, very suitable place for the gathering of the Vaishnavas. And that's where we have our temple, by the grace of Jiva Goswami, the grace of Rupa Goswami, the grace of Radha Damodar, by the grace of Krishna and his devotees. That property came to Gurudev with not only without him asking for it, without him wanting it. And it came like forcefully through the dead telephone speaking, the famous story of the dead telephone speaking, of which I am a direct witness, by the way. You know, we were right there. And so we know this story from the moment of the dead telephone speaking onwards. And I've heard some interesting permutations and combinations as it passes through the hearing and repeating process. But it's all good. The essential point being that the savor of that property came to Gurudev. And it came, Gurudev saw that it came to him for the service of Guru Maharaj. That there will be a place in Vrindavan where Srila Guru Maharaj is worshipped in particular, a focus for the worship of Srila Guru Maharaj. And so in our temple, there are the deities of Sri Sri Guru, Gauranga, Gandhavika, and sorry, not Gandhavika. Rasa Bihari. So the deities of Mahaprabhu and Radha and Krishna, Guru, Gauranga, Gandhava, I think, or is it Radha? Anyway, it's Radharani and Rasa Bihari. But the deities are there, but to the right of the deity, there is a murti of Srila Guru Maharaj. And it may not be so recognizable. It is Guru Maharaj's murti, and it is his Pushpa Samadhi in Vrindavan. And it is the very nearest possible to Rupa Goswami's Samadhi and to the Samadhi of Jiva Goswami and Krishna Das Kaviraj right next door also. But as Guru Maharaj, Srila Gurudev like specifically said, nearest to Rupa Goswami. And this way, it was all came in the service mood. Gurudev wasn't seeing, oh, now we're going to have a prestigious property and we can make a lot of money because everyone wants, will want to go to have accommodation there and things like this. And Gurudev, he was very cautious that it won't become a hotel or a boarding house like that. And he said, because some devotee asked Gurudev, what's the need of a temple with deities? Vrindavan is full of deities, full of Krishna. Krishna is everywhere you look in Vrindavan. And Gurudev gave, at least right in front of me, he gave one answer that we must install deities. Otherwise, in the future, it will become just another guest house, another place for people to stay. And he did not want that. He wanted that it will be respectfully kept as a place of worship. And the deities, of course, announced that clearly and more hiddenly, but known to our family. It's the place of seva of Guru Maharaj. That Guru Maharaj is doing seva to Rupa Goswami. We are doing seva to Guru Maharaj there at Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mata in Vrindavan. And Jiva Goswami's Samadhi is right next door to Krishnadas or Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, the author of Chaitanya Charitamrita. And of course, he will have passed away later, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, because he is the next generation, essentially. Hare Krishna. Here's me chatting away. And Anandamoy is on a very steady boat because she's got an iPhone attached to the boat, so it doesn't look like it's moving. Just see. Hare Krishna. Okay, I've been chatting away. Kum Devi Rasi. Please correct. Please, anybody correct anything that I've said wrong. And please do share something. Oh, look. Priyananna, Jagadish Pandit, the 15th branch of Lord Nityananda's followers. By the way, when you see the verses in Chaitanya Charitamrita, it doesn't say 15, 14, 13, 12. So he's another, but in this way it's been given like this. Of Nityananda's followers, was the deliverer of the entire world. Devotional love of Krishna showered from him like torrents of rain. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Both his father and mother were great devotees of Lord Vishnu, and after their death, Jagadish, with his wife Dukini, I think there's a story connected with her too. Because Dukini, I think, means sad. Sukha and Dukkha. Okay, with his wife Dukini and brother Mahesh, left his birthplace and came to Sri Mayapur to live in the company of Jagannath Mishra and other Vaishnavas. And Jagannath Mishra, the father of Nimai Sundar. The father, of course, is Leela, but his father. Lord Chaitanya asked Jagadish to go to Jagannath Puri to preach the Harinam Sankirtan movement. After returning from Jagannath Puri, on the order of Lord Jagannath, he established deities of Jagannath in the village of Jashadagram. It is said that when Jagadish Pandit brought the deity of Jagannath to Jashadagram, he tied the heavy deity to a stick and thus brought him to the village. The priests of the temple still show the stick used by Jagadish Pandit to carry the Jagannath deity. Then I also have to think that I may have said something wrong, because in Mayapur there is there's a Jagannath temple. Yes, but okay, I'm getting an echo from somewhere. I will have to check, because actually I think that this deity did not reach Mayapur, but that we'll have to check it, that Jashadagram. I've been to a place on Gurudev's order, taking one sannyasi, to a temple of only Jagannath, and I think that is likely to be the temple. It is on the way to Navadip from Calcutta by road, and then you turn left at one junction and you go down a very small road, and then you come to the banks of the Ganges. And I think that is the Jagannath temple. So I know of only 2 Jagannath temples in that area, and that means on the way to Navadip, there is a Jagannath temple, and I think this is the one that Jagadish Pandit established. I was remembering he established Jagannath. You see, please excuse, I think it is that temple and not the one that's now in the care of ISKCON, which is quite a long way past ISKCON, and then down a road to the right and in the middle of mango orchard. So anyhow, Jagadish Pandit did establish a Jagannath temple. We'll do some homework on that. Okay, so there's one correction. Come, more corrections, please.
Maharaj, you have a wonderful sense of humor. I can only offer my dandavat to all of the Vaishnavas. When I was looking today about this Leela of Mahaprabhu and came upon a question which Srila Prabhupada answered about the Kirtan Nitai Gunamani. And of course, that's one of our beautiful, beloved Kirtans. And what the question was about was when Mahaprabhu, after taking sannyasa, and Lord Nityananda went with him, and then he said to Lord Nityananda after a few days, but now who will be taking care of Navadvip Dham? And so this is the way that he answered. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu left home and took sannyas, he made his headquarters at Jagannath Puri. So after his accepting the sannyas order, when he left his home and country, Lord Nityananda Prabhu also accompanied him up to Jagannath Puri. So after a few days, Lord Chaitanya requested him that if both of us remain here, then who will preach in Bengal? Bengal is known as Gaudadesh. So under the order of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he brought from him the flood of love of Godhead, and he distributed in the whole of Bengal, Gaudadesh. And in that flood of love of God, all devotees became drowned. Only those who were not devotees, they could not drown, but they were floating, Dinahina Bache. But so far, Nityananda Prabhu is concerned, he does not make any discrimination between devotees and non-devotees. Dinahina Patita Pamara Nahi Bache. Poor or rich, or enlightened or foolish, everyone could take the instruction of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and become drowned in the ocean of love of Godhead. Such love of Godhead is Brahmar Durlabha. Even Lord Brahma, who is the supreme teacher within this universe, he also cannot relish. But by the grace of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Mahaprabhu, this love of Godhead was distributed to everyone without any discrimination. And so then he explains more about the kirtan itself. And when he says Lochan Bole, now the author is speaking on his behalf, that anyone who does not take the advantage given by Lord Nityananda Prabhu, so in his opinion, he thinks that such a person knowingly is committing suicide. So I was very happy to understand a little bit more about this kirtan and its enlightening message for us.
Somebody is very happy to hear your description as well in your room by the sounds of it.
Yes, and I must say that somebody is not human. So my apologies, but it does show that the mercy is there for all the living entities.
But the sages do see everything as human, but covered with a particular body temporarily. And actually, any dog owner, dog lover, they must also relate to that. Man's best friend, just seeing.
My dog is also very restless tonight. She's been pestering me the whole time. We've been, lovingly, but it's interesting that they seem to be in tune this evening.
Singing in tune as well. We hear Kumkum singing a little bit. Hare Krishna. But talking about singing, these kirtans in the songbook, they are substantial. It's not just so that we can get a nice tune and, have a sing along in the evening. They are substantial, and really it is very good to try to be familiar with all of the kirtans that we sing, and especially the ones that we sing if we're living in an ashram or at home on a daily basis. It's very good to know that. And then these kirtans, which we do sing regularly, then we should try to not only have the words, but the substance.
Mm-hmm.
Gurudev's wish, not just ours. Vaishnava Seva Nama Ruchi Jiva Doya. Pastime with Sri Rupa and Sanatan. Indeed, there are many pastimes. Priya Bhakti Prabhu is mentioning that. Would you like, Kumkum, would you like to tell that story about Jiva Goswami when Digvijay Pandit came around Vrindavan getting signatures from everybody?
No, I'm very sorry. I cannot.
Then where is Priya Bhakti Prabhu?
Mm.
Where are you? I don't see you on my screen. Oh, hello. Yes, there you are. Priya Bhakti Prabhu, would you like to tell the story? We're on Zoom. We like to hear each other. Maybe not available to tell the story. But this was Jiva Goswami. So in brief, there are many pastimes with Jiva Goswami. And this is one of those pastimes. And it is when he'd come to Vrindavan, and he's come to Vrindavan, knowing that he's going to be serving Rupa and Sanatan. So by the grace of Lord Shiva, he got very perfect education on his way after leaving from his home. Then he coming from Bengal over to Vrindavan to join with Rupa and Sanatan and to serve in Vrindavan. He got a first-class education, and he was a first-class student to receive that education while in Benares, Varanasi. So when he came to Vrindavan, he was scholarly. He knew that his seva is not going to be washing pots, but he's going to be doing scriptural seva for Rupa and Sanatan. So he was young, but brilliant, we can understand. And when one great pandit, who in those days you'd have pandits coming around India trying to, first of all, make money by showing that I am the greatest pandit, come and listen to my classes or debates, and then he would challenge in different places, the leading people in the different places, and challenge them to a debate. And because he was very brilliant, he would defeat everybody here, left, right, and center, and gather their signatures and get more and more proud. But when he came to Vrindavan, he heard, okay, Rupa and Sanatan, they are there, or Rupa and Sanatan are there. And so he wanted to get the signatures from them and debate and defeat and get signatures. But they were not concerned about Rupa and Sanatan. I think both of them were approached. And they had no interest to debate on basically on a mundane level with a mundane scholar. Their only duty, their only joy is Hare Katha and anything about Krishna consciousness. But this man just trying to show off, basically. And so they signed. It was Rupa Goswami. Was it Rupa or Sanatan? Rupa. It was Rupa Goswami. He just signed, said, oh, just give me the paper. I'll write, I'm defeated. Just go away, leave me in peace. So he left. He signed the paper. But then he heard from somebody that, oh, you think that you've, you know everything like this. And then, oh, Jiva Goswami, he met him or saw him. And when he's going around collecting like the signatures that I am the greatest pandit, then he came to Jiva Goswami and he told Jiva Goswami, oh, your guru, Rupa Goswami, he has already signed, so you may as well just sign. When he signed, he's defeated, then you should just sign as well. Obviously, you're going to be defeated. And then he saw the paper and he said, show me the paper. And then Jiva Goswami tore up the paper, and then the pandit was a little shocked by this, and Jiva Goswami said, I know why he signed it, why he signed that to say that. You didn't even debate with him, because he's not interested in such things. But for the honor of Rupa Goswami, I will debate with you. And then Jiva Goswami debated with him and flatly defeated him this way. But when there are two different stories. Anyway, this is one story. And story means Leela. And from both sides, from Rupa Goswami's side, he doesn't want to have anything to do with the mundane topics like this and just a waste of time, basically, because if he defeats him, what's the gain? He's not trying to get any prestige. So, and at the same time, Jiva Goswami, he understands why Rupa just signed it. And so then he debated for the honor of his guru and defeated him. Hare Krishna. So this is one pastime. Hare Krishna. And this Vaishnava Seva Nama Ruchi Jivadoya, I think that that was a second pastime in connection with maybe Vallabha Acharya, possibly correcting some Sanskrit. Do you recall exactly? And then again, I definitely need to just do some homework to get the facts right. But the principle behind it was that, yeah, I'll do some homework to say it properly. But there is another pastime, and this other pastime, then it was Rupa or Sanatan. I think it was Rupa also, who banished him, Jiva, from his ashram and said, you can't stay here if you are like correcting senior persons. You can't stay here. And he did. Jiva Goswami, this senior person, he saw some mistake in what he considered a mistake in the Sanskrit. And then, if it's Rupa or Sanatan, I'm not sure. I think it's Rupa Goswami. They changed, then they said, okay, yes, what you say. And so they adjusted the Sanskrit according to that suggested correction. And then Jiva Goswami met that person, maybe Vallabha Acharya, it's quite possible. And just by chance, you can say, met him somewhere, and just happened to say, by the way, there isn't a mistake in what was composed there. And then Jiva Goswami explained how what had been written there in the composition was perfect. And then that great person, maybe Vallabhacharya, went back and said, oh, by the way, what you had originally was right. And by the way, there's a very brilliant young Pandit I met, and he pointed this out to me. And then he understood it was Jiva Goswami, and then banished Jiva. And then I think Sanatan Goswami presently heard about what happened and came to Rupa and then asked Rupa, so what is Mahaprabhu's teaching? And Rupa said, Vaishnava Seva Nama Ruchi Jiva Doya. And Jiva Doya means merciful to the Jiva souls. Vaishnava Seva, doing service to the Vaishnavas. Nama Ruchi, to taste the holy name. And Jiva Doya, to be merciful to the Jiva souls. And then Sanatana Goswami said to Rupa Goswami that, well, you know, Jiva is suffering down the banks of the river. He's fasting and he's in so much distress that you've ousted him. Please be merciful to him. Then Rupa Goswami brought him back. Hare Krishna. But all these, there is no fault on the part of Jiva Goswami, of Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami. It is all some leela to show us, to teach us something. And in this case, to teach us etiquette. And Mahaprabhu and his devotees are always following Vaishnava etiquette. Doesn't mean the caste system, you're born, in a place and then you're going to be like that forever. But Vaishnava etiquette, they followed. Hare Krishna. Well, our hour has gone by very fast. And Anandamoy's boat seems to have sailed out, and she sent her Dandavat pranams for the dear devotees. Hare Krishna. Chintamani is in Bangkok, and welcome, Kamala. Kamala, welcome back to Bangkok. I think she was in America for a little while. And Nadia, oh yes, today's Sunday in Bangkok. They're going to have Grand Harinam Sankirtan in Bangkok in a park. And they've got lots of devotees, Pavan Krishna, Kamal Prabhu, Nadia Sundari is there, Chintamani, Devidasi is there, and Muktinath Prabhu is there. And maybe they have others. They're advertising the programs in the park, and they were successful to gather people and maybe gathering more and more. Using Meet Me, is it? Using one app to gather people.
Meet up, Maharaj. Meet up.
Meet up on
Today
the
we
web.
have about 8 guests.
Today, 8 guests. Okay, and then the public will be there too.
Mhm.
Guy.
I mean,
So
it's public. We don't know them. Like
yes.
our devotees group and some people should come, I hope.
Right. Plus, there's the public in the park, those people who are there and hear the kirtan and come and ask, what are you doing? Like that child, a boy, wasn't a young child, a boy, when we were there, coming up to, what are you doing? Okay, good question. Sit down. We'll tell you what we're doing. Okay, now come and join us. Do you understand? Yes. Okay, come with us. Hare Krishna. All right, dear ones, I see some chats are jumping up in the box. Harinam Sankirtan ki jai. See y'all soon, Pavan and Kapil. And Asha Puna. Param Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtan. All victory to the Sankirtan. And I don't know if we are doing Sankirtan today. I don't know. Last week we did Sankirtan on Sunday. And this week, I do not know what's happening today. All right, dear ones, Mahaprabhu's remembrance of Mahaprabhu's Sannyas Leela, remembrance of Jagadish Pandit, remembrance of Jiva Goswami, remembrance actually of Srila Gurudev and Srila Guru Maharaj, our nearest and complete nearest, complete dearest, and giving us complete Krishna consciousness. And Rupanuga Prabhu in spirit, he's not in Bangkok, he's in Thailand, but not Bangkok. So he's there in the Kirtan in spirit, and we'll also be with you in spirit. What time does it start? What time? We can't hear you, Pavan.
5 p.m. in Thailand.
5 p.m. Okay, so we'll try to remember you then too. Here is 11 noon, so it is a good, 11 o'clock before lunchtime, so it's a good time. Jai Srila Gurudev ki jai, Srila Guru Maharaj ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Jai Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur ki jai, Jai Shri Rupanuga Guru Vaga ki jai, and many thanks to Kumkum Devidasi for her contribution, and jais to Kumkum Devidasi, and jais to each one of you, one by one by one, and obeisances to each one of you, one by one by one.
So Bhaktiranjan Madhusudana Maharaj ki jai.
Sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Munindra Mohan Prabhu saw you yesterday, Leela Moy Prabhu, on the Zoom, and he said he's lost so much weight. But I don't know how he can tell because we can only see your shoulders. But
Yeah,
is
it's true. It's
true.
your fault.
It's my fault. Trying to think.
Yes.
Okay,
A lot of hiking, a lot of bicycle, yes.
Oh, okay. You've got to service the bicycles. Don't let them get rusty.
Yes.
All
jai.
right. Have a wonderful week in Seva. Everybody stay safe and chant Krishna Nam. Hare Krishna. Nitai Gaur Premanande. Hare Hare Bo. Dandavat.